Good morning, folks. I I just realized as I took the little snapshot that I think they use as like the cover for this video that I have my everyday glasses on, not my computer glasses on. Oh, so much better. So much better. So, damn, where did I put my good chapstick too? I tidied up. She's tidied up and I can't find anything. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. So, good morning. Good morning, all. Laura Voorhees. Good morning. Voorhees. There's a I keep on thinking of like a bridge or something. There's something cool besides you, of course. You're the first one. There's something cool named Voorhees. Michelle, good morning. Here I'm turning the page on my inspirational calendar. Finding the good and the lessons in things allows us to move through them and on to new experiences. There we go. I can dig that. Oh, we got a gaggle. We got a gaggle of declutterers here, and not like we're geese. We're more like a gaggle of geese, a flurry of ducks. We've got Judy Dukes, whose name just rolls off my tongue, and Penny Myers, and Carol Boyette, Therapy Gal Sue, Ms. Seashell, and Suzanne Bowman. Oh my gosh, and Danielle, and Shannon, and Heather MC. Voorhees Park in Brooklyn. Thank you. There we go. That's what I was thinking. Lisa Locke. There we go. Friday the 13th movie, Jason Voorhees, which I have never seen. Yep. Mary Coker. Hey, nice little crew here. Love it. Thank you for keeping me company this Monday morning. Speaking of Monday mornings, not that it would be like Monday morning. There we go. And Michelle, you're right. I was thinking of New York, New Jersey, like when I'm driving down the Jersey Turnpike or when we're going into the city, the city being New York, even though I'm from Boston. Yeah, so thank you for that. My tea is not as warm as it should be. Oh well. Good morning, everybody. Kim K, I'm raising my cup to you since you've got your cup there. Um, I hope you had a good weekend. Let's look in the rearview mirror as each one of us sits here in the pretend road driver's seat of our car known as our life, the little guy right up here, in the rearview mirror. Can you look back? Did you get some good stuff done? I got some good stuff done. Yeah. Have I put it in my good stuff done book yet? No, but I'm gonna. I'm not worried about it. I like to get stuff done, but I'd like to get it done in my time. So I will do that. I enjoy that. The other fun thing I will share with you is there we go. Penny Myers vacuumed her car in preparation for Passover. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that was a thing, but very cool. What did I do? We had a couple of the decluttering parties. Those went really well. Oh my gosh, you guys. Big shout out, and she's not even here. Carla Jane. Carla Jane, man, has she been doing some kicking of the ass declutter wise. So when you see her, when she turns in, I'm going to be not grilling her, but I'm going to be asking her to share what she's done. I don't want to give away her ta-da, but man, oh, Manischewitz, has she been doing some good stuff. So yay. Yeah. Yes. What a good, yes. And EP Wesley, yes. Carla gave this to me because, and I put the orange windscreen on it because I kept on talking into my hand, pretending I had a Mr. Microphone from the 70s. I'm on the radio. I love it. Hey, pretty lady, we'll be back to pick you up later. Jingle bells, the Ronco or the K-Tel commercial. And out of the blue, she sent it to me, which I thought was wicked fun. And I also have some fun while I pretend to sing in it, or if I really sing in it. Yeah. So, couple things. Did you have a good weekend? Think back and fill your tank with like nutritious thoughts of what you did yesterday. Oh, that's great. Laura Voorhees decluttered my garden of dead stems yesterday. Yes, decluttering is like gardening, is, having stuff around for a while and then pulling it out so that new things can grow or that you just have extra space. So good for you on that. And then also look at you planting some good seeds. Judged vocal solos on Saturday, a chance to boost the confidence in young singers. Yes. I don't know about you, but I think I could always use a boost of confidence. It cannot hurt. It's like a booster shot. It's like a vitamin in the morning. So lovely for you to do that for the young singers because, man, I remember getting laughed at when I um, tried to sing for the fourth grade when I was in fourth grade for the talent show, and it shut me down for decades. It really did. I was so self-conscious and insecure that it really robbed me of the joy that singing around used to bring. Now I sing all the time. So yay for you. There we go. Jerusalem artichokes. I don't even know what those are, but here's a neat thing. Speaking of gardening, um, our forsythia are blooming. I saw some dogwood trees going spraying. We've got some cherry blossoms in our yard, not our yard, in our town. And because of you all, I know what grape hyacinth is now. And I walked past some today, and I thought of this cool crew. Okay, they look like Rebecca. Yep. Mm-hmm. Laura Voorhees. Yes, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but glad you have found your voice. And you know who did it? I'll be honest with you, is little bullying little shits, as I can call them now. Little white boys who are just trying to make somebody else feel bad. Does it sound like anybody we know in the public sphere now? Probably a lot of them, you know? But regardless, that happened in the past, and luckily I have processed it. I literally did take vocal lessons to open up and to relax my vocal cords and things like that, to learn that it's okay to speak your truth and to sing, even if I don't sound like Mariah Carey. So, and not only speak out, but speak up. Speak up for what you want. Learning to articulate and put some air behind and push out the words that are in your head. I want to do more traveling, and I do. This was crazy. Yesterday, I found something written down while I was decluttering about the kind of town I wanted to live in. It is so spot on to where I live now that I can pretty much, it has to be true that I knew about this town before I wrote this thing. But I am telling you, if it didn't, it is crazy how I manifested this. But in the driver's seat today, here we are. Here we are. I've been saying that a lot. I just added Nights on Broadway by the Bee Gees to the Destination Decluttered Spotify playlist. There's a link to that on the members only page. A lot of good songs there too. But here we are today. We're looking in the rearview mirror, and we're finding some good stuff we did. We're finding some crappy stuff from 1976, 75, 76. I think it was 76. That if I allowed it, it could still make me feel bad. Now it's just like some, lousy TV show I watched, kind of like when I look back on my first marriage, but I digress. So we can look back and we can feel things from the past. So choose the things that make you feel good and bring those forward, write them down. The things from the past that don't make you feel good, notice that, and let's change it. Let's open up that file, muck around with it, and save it to a different version. So maybe you take the saturation out of it. You desaturate it. You turn the volume down on it. You shrink down the people who said that. Instead of them looming above or whatever, what if you imagine them as little pipsqueaks, right? And you say, yeah, you know what? That was like little, wonder where they are now. I don't even know their names. But we can do things to change, not the past. The past is the past, but how we feel about the past and what we do with that feeling. Today, here we are in the driver's seat. Now, before we even start driving, I hope that today, like when us hanging together, kind of warms up. It gets your engine started, gets your motor running, and helps you move forward and move forward strategically. And all that means is being mindful of what you're doing is heading in the direction of what you want, not just randomly or not just where somebody else wants you. Oh, hey. Oh, that's awesome, Judy Dukes. I am so glad to hear it. So Judy showed up to both of the decluttering parties. And I don't think it'll be untoward for me to say at points she was really stuck and she was struggling. Can you imagine if the party wasn't there and she was trying to do this on her own? But she said, I am struggling. I don't know what to do next. This is what I've done. This is what I think I need to do, but I'm not sure. And I helped her through that, and Carla, and we all were there to offer suggestions and opportunities. And she did some things on Saturday, and even Sunday. She was like, she tuned in, a little bit, kind of not a lot of gas in her tank. She was smiling by the end of it. And Judy's saying, I made a huge amount of progress during the declutter party. Almost everything, which is great. Almost everything is great. Almost everything has a home, and her bedroom is back to a peaceful place. Yeah. Now let me elaborate for you. And in case there's anybody new here, usually it's a lot of familiar names, but in case you're just hanging around listening to this YouTube live, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Here on YouTube, on the internet at destinationdecluttered.com, of which I just checked my email or my mailing list. Um, and I help people who struggle with their clutter. Um, and crap, there was something I was going to mention about that. Yes, this is what I was going to mention. So, just as a refresher for everybody, three layers of clutter: surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. Okay. Surface clutter is pretty much what you think. It is clutter that is on the surface, but surface clutter, when your surfaces are cluttered, it can make you feel a certain way. Now, the next layer, and that's usually, to me, typically, that is what I call like the clutter of everyday life. The clutter of everyday life. That would be the thing. So, for example, I'm going to be here for the next 46, 47 minutes, and then I'm going to hop over to TikTok, so you can hang out with me there if you choose. But knowing that you have this time together with me, however long you have, maybe what you do is, instead of sitting here listening to me, you get up and I keep you company as you putter and declutter, which just means kind of walking around and doing that, putting stuff where the stuff that you know where it belongs, that isn't where it belongs, is putting that stuff closer to where it goes. Okay. Now, surface clutter can make you feel a certain way. And the next layer down, stored clutter. Now, stored clutter is really just a compacted version of surface clutter. It's stuff that isn't where you want it to be, but you kind of put it in a container, either in a box or a closet or an attic or a basement or a tote, what have you. And in order to see what you have packed into a container and stored, or your cupboards or your drawers, in order to effectively sort through to see what you have and if you want it, and if you want it, where does it go? You need to spread out that stuff temporarily. This is what I call, you got to sort it before you store it. And this can temporarily turn, and notice my use of temporarily, this can temporarily turn a surface into surface clutter. This is what happened to Judy yesterday. She had stuff in a closet and she took it out, and then it expands because you need to see the things individually. And she temporarily turned her bedroom that she's trying to turn into like a lovely, peaceful haven. It became cluttered on the surface. So what we do um, is notice what you can do, and notice you're not going to get it all done at the same time. It is not like an HGTV show. They lie when they show it to you in a half an hour. That's days worth of work with multiple people, and they hide a lot of stuff. So Judy did what she could do. And when she lowered her expectations of what she could get done, she got some stuff done. She felt better about it. And we helped her schedule her time so she could clean up the surfaces in her bedroom so she would go back to feeling good about it. Now, did she, without thought, cram everything back into the closet? I don't know. I hope not. What I hope she did was she had a better understanding of what category she had, and she put those things back in a more organized fashion so that the next time she wants to go declutter more of that stuff out of the closet, it will be even easier than this first time. So surface has to do with stored, stored has to do with surface, and sentimental, I'll just give it a quick shout out. Sentimental is the stuff that you save, the stuff that you save that tells you stories. And depending upon what those stories are, you chose to keep it at a certain time. And when you go through sentimental clutter, you're basically saying, okay, I saved this back in 2004 because I was going through some of my stuff that's 2004. I cannot believe that was 20 years ago, you guys. I cannot believe that. Um, And 2004, I kept it. Did I want to keep it? I wanted to keep one thing out of the whole magazine, which was an article I wrote, an ad that I designed, that type of thing. And I was able to declutter the magazine. So I went from like a stack of about 6 inches to about in 1 inch thick. And it was the quality of pages that I saved, not the quantity. But that did tell me stories. And I did walk down memory lane. Okay. Now, that's enough of me yakking. Let me turn over to here. Okay. So, yay for Judy Dukes. Yay for orzo pasta salad, Louise. Good morning. And I love it. Check marks. Yay. Box of assorted greeting cards gone through. Check. Love it. So, Heather MC. Yo, it's the Heather MC. I struggle cleaning rooms that have yet to be renovated. The rooms that don't feel good even when they're clean. Any tips? Yeah. Yeah. I would put on my little like uh what am I calling? Actually, it's more like a Sherlock Holmes hat. I'm thinking of the logo of Nancy Drew on the books when you would take off like the dust cover, the ones from the like 30s and 40s, where it was a profile of her in one of those like 30s dresses and she had a magnifying glass. Heather, I want you to get curious. Get out your Nancy Drew magnifying glass and look more closely in that room to see what are the specific little things that may be making it not feel good even though it's clean. Some of those things you may be able to change prior to you being renovated or you renovating, and other things may change with the renovation. So get specific, get clue into, and this is a rule, this is a lesson for everybody. Specifics are so enlightening. You're going to find exactly what is bumming you out about that room. What is it? Is it something you're looking at? Is it the smell? Is it the way that the floor is gritty because it's got dirt on it? Does it, I don't know, is it dark? Can it be lighter? So I would offer to you, go in there with curiosity and looking for clues like Nancy Drew's, okay? And see what you can find that is bumming you out about it. Now, I will share with you. I did some decluttering, not a heck of a lot because I don't have a lot to do. Oh, I'm glad you think it's a great idea. Let me know how it goes. Okay? I have ideas. Now, my husband and I, we crack each other up. And I'm like, I have a lot of good ideas. I don't know if you know about this about me, but I have a lot of good ideas, right? I think they're good, but I'm not 100% sure. The only way I know one of my ideas is good is if I give it to you and you could do like the beta testing. Did that work for you? If it worked for you, please let me know so that I am more confident in offering that to other people. Now, I know myself, for example, yesterday when I was decluttering this room right here, because I think I've showed you this, these boxes here, these are upstairs from the basement only because we are getting some renovations done in the basement at some point. And these are the ones that I wanted to bring up first because that's my memorabilia, literally from like 1966 to 2005. Okay. Now, I went through some of those boxes. It's all sentimental items. So the progress I'm going to make is incremental. And the space I'm going to gain from it, physical space, is going to be minuscule. You know, even if I got rid of all that stuff, I would only gain a wee bit of room, you know? And okay. And I love it. And notice Heather's thinking. I think this is us. We're just thinking. We think the idea of getting curious works because it changes a general sense of overwhelm to a list of actionable tasks. Yes. And to me, that's the specific. It's the overwhelm to chunk it down. You're chunking it down, writing down, looking down at the things that you're looking at. What are the specific things? Now, I noticed when I was decluttering that throughout as my decluttering this weekend, a bunch of little pieces of paper because I was tearing pages out of notebooks and things. So I realized I wanted to vacuum. The stuff on the rug was bugging me. I also noticed over here, this shelves, oh my God, they were so dusty behind some things. I moved one thing and I saw some dust and it bugged me. So what did I do? I went and got a Swiffer and then I swiffed out one of these shelves and then I picked another shelf And it was pretty easy. And I did each one of those shelves. And I said, well, since I'm doing these shelves, I will do the top of this bookcase. I knew that those things were bugging me. Those were specific things that when I focused on them, it bugged me. I had walked past that dust a lot early. So, and thank you, Heather MC, because you said, I think the idea of getting curious works because it changes a general sense of overwhelm to a list of actionable tasks. Yes, notice going from very vague to more specific, and specific tends to be smaller. And I love that the way I said it got you to think that, and you said that, and then Kim K says it makes so much more sense when Heather made it said it that way. So yeah, we are all trying to communicate things in a way that's going to connect with people. And I use the words that I use. Heather uses the words that Heather uses. And hopefully, with all of us, you'll get something that's like, oh, I get that. That clicks. That makes sense. That, frankly, was so important to me when I was looking for me trying to get help with my, not necessarily my clutter, but just like life coaching and stuff, or just getting my poop in a scoop, life and career wise, is finding somebody whose voice and not just the sound of it, please, if anything. I'm like George Costanza. My voice is all high and whiny. Like, you ever hear yourself on a tape recorder? A tape recorder. Yes, I'm 80 years old. Whose words and way of presenting information makes it easy to understand. And so I promised myself I would do that. I wouldn't use fancy words when simple words would do. And I would crack jokes, and hopefully some people would get my pop culture Gen X references. And so far, so good. So you can look behind and even just say, did I get the stuff done I wanted to this weekend? And you can decide to feel cool about it, or you can beat yourself up about it. And I highly recommend stop beating yourself up. Stop beating yourself up. Stop it. It's just so draining and so unproductive. And it may be an ingrained habit. So let's stop it. And how you stop it, it's like when you have a path that's being worn through your carpet. I have a shag carpet in the other room. It goes through. We have to like stop walking on it that way and walk other ways so you don't wear it down because but think about it, just like a carpet or a path in the park, the what do they call that? Like a there's a word for when they have the sidewalk there, but when people walk where they want to walk. And you have to stop walking on the other path in order for it to grow up. Other than there, you're wearing it down. You're wearing yourself down. When you're wearing yourself down, when you're beating yourself up, you're wearing yourself down. And don't do that. Okay? Stop it. Interrupt it. Interrupt that sentence from your head that is being mean to you. Don't you wish you could do that with some people in the news right now? Shut the fuck up. Shut up. And not just quiet, but then actively replace what your backseat drivers are saying with something that is more helpful. And pretty much just, even right now, you could be a little kid and play the opposite game. You know, you could tell them, you're not doing enough. I did plenty. You're too old. I'm going to be even older tomorrow. So why not start now? Whatever they say as a bad thing, you have the power now to talk back to those little shits in your brain, those little people who are just trying to laugh at you and make you feel bad. You can stop it. You can interrupt it. Even right now, I could relive. I could project a picture on the screen of my brain that has me standing there on the stage of the cafeteria slash auditorium. I hear they call it a cafetorium now, which cracks me up to no end. And I could look down at those guys and say, hey, stop it. I'm singing here. Shut the fuck up. I just did that. And they're like, oh, huh. And then I squoze them down and I made them little. And then I popped them out and I finished singing Yesterday by the Beatles. And I sounded great. So we can play with the way we think and feel about things, even if we have for decades beaten ourselves up about it. Okay. So that being said, interrupt the stuff that doesn't feel good, say something else, get yourself in a good space. And right now, how are you feeling physically? How are you feeling mentally? How are you feeling energetically? Check in with your human body. Did you get some good sleep last night? If not, what can you do tonight to get yourself some better sleep? I was very proud of myself. I will share. This is what I did. Is the night before last, my husband wasn't home. He was at a gig and he stayed over. where he was. So I had the bed to myself. And so when I woke up in the middle of the night, you know what I did? I was like a little kid. And I was awake for a while, couldn't get back to sleep, so I, turned on the little handheld TV is known as my phone. I realized that that doesn't give me the best sleep. So last night, when I woke up in the middle of the night, I promised myself to just lay there with my eyes closed in the dark. I even put on like a little eye mask. I did something different to make myself feel better, and I did fall back asleep or back to sleep, I guess. So if you're not feeling good right now, is there something you could do right now to make yourself feel good physically? To me, I'll always say breathe, get some good stuff in your body, move around your body, and put some liquid oxygen, hydrate, you know? What can you do to make yourself feel better physically? Do it. Because feeling better physically makes you feel better mentally, and vice versa. Okay. Oh, this is great. So EP Wesley is keeping track of how many thumbs ups there are. And I love the eyeballs. And oh my God, we've got 29 now. We've got 30 people watching and only 15 thumbs ups. But now we have 30 people watching 16. Let's all click on the thumbs up and support this live. Thank you for taking care of us, because the inference is that the more thumbs up, that somehow YouTube will boost the thing. I just saw a 17. Okay, we're going. If you don't know how to put on a thumbs up, I bet you guys can chat about it because it's different from my edge. But thank you for doing that. Getting the word out to more people who are cluttered and don't know that there's help out there is wonderful. That's why in about a half hour or so, I'm going to go over to TikTok, because the algorithm, if there is one on YouTube, is different. Okay. And it may not be the same. So there we go. Boom. Look at, we got 31 people watching and 21 people liking. Very cool. Notice what you're doing. It's not really for me to be like, they like me. They really, really like me. You know what? Now, there we go. I love it. Thank you, EP. Now, Louise wrote out 2 overdue thank yous. It is never too late to thank somebody. It is never too late. It isn't. So I love that you did that, and notice how much better you feel, and how unexpected and nice it will be to hear for somebody to hear from you, right? So feeling good, looking back in the rearview mirror, checking in with yourself now, then today, both on a Monday and the last day of a month, kind of looking down the road, not as far as you can see, because the far you may be able to see far, but the further you look out, it gets kind of fuzzy and gray. It's kind of like looking down one of those highway things. The close stuff is sharper and more in focus. And as you look further out, it's a little bit fuzzier. It's just the way things work. So looking out just for the end of this week, or maybe even just today, what could you do today to feel good when you go to bed tonight? What are some things maybe you've been wanting to do that you have to do, that you would like to do? Please always put the like to do's in there. And I highly recommend getting in the habit of writing these things down. Okay. Writing down what you want makes it happen, or at least it increases the likelihood that things will happen, or you will make them happen. Let's not just give it up to, the universe. You can do things to increase the likelihood of what you want to happen. I believe in that stone cold fact. Okay. But if you leave it up here, you may forget it. You may be like, oh, I want to kick the world's ass. Oh, that's right. I have to go pick up the dry cleaning. And then you forget about kicking the world's ass, right? Write down what you want, and then also write down on another page the things I have to do today, like pick up the dry cleaning. All right. This practice has served me well. I did not realize until I started going through um, how my stuff, how much getting my thoughts out of my head makes me feel better, allows me to sort out what I'm feeling, makes me see some patterns, and helps me better define what I want. All right. Hey, Leslie, nice to see you. And McDugs, nice to see you too. Leslie was also at the declutter parties this weekend. She had never been before. She thought she'd give it a shot, and she told me she enjoyed it. So there we go. Speaking of declutter parties and the end of one month and beginning of the other, we have a new chapter, right? March is now, I went out today. It does feel like it's going out like a lamb. It was very warm when I went outside. It was lovely. Um, the beginning of a new month. We will have more declutter parties in April and oh, there we go. Leslie says just wanted to put in a plug for those parties. Awesome. Highly recommended. I highly recommend them. All right. Okay. Kitchen is a whole different story to Louise. It's also the area I do my crafting in. Can't find the kitchen table. You know what? It's around there somewhere. Why don't you start to be like Nancy Drew, or maybe be like the guy who found King Tut's tomb? Go on an archaeological dig and start to uncover layer by layer by layer, just like an archaeological dig, the things that are hiding your kitchen table from you. We got another half hour together, Louise, and we have another hour should you want to hang out with me while I'm on TikTok, right? So the end of one month and the beginning of another. I say this from a practical nature because check this out. Where is it? Oh, it's on my printer. Hold on. Literally, I just printed it out myself. See this right here? This is the April version of this right here. Okay? Habit tracker. I am very proud of myself. For with the exception of when I was traveling, I did many of the things that I wanted to do on a daily basis. Now, these are very simple things for me. I kept them small and I kept them doable. And then check this out. This was something that a client recommended. Notice how it gets colorful at the end right here. See that? She said, I get bored. It's not as fun when I do it all in black. So I'm making a rainbow. Right? And so I'm going to do the same thing. I just started it today and already I'm on a roll. See right there? I got my first 3 things done. And it makes it fun. So how beautiful will April look when I fill it out? You can print this out too for tomorrow, April 1st, no fooling. It's on the Destination Decluttered secret page. Okay. Yeah. Now, Judy from the parties says, the back of my car is loaded with bags for my bedroom and closet. Dropping them off today. It feels so good and the parties are so helpful. Yay. Yay. Now, a real quick thing about the parties. Right now, you're not going to see anything on the secret page about them because while I have them in my head and I wrote them down and I checked them against the calendar and I shared the dates with the people who are at the parties, the people who show up get the best stuff. Okay. Do not worry, though. If you did not show up for a party, I got you. I got you, babe. I will be putting that schedule and the tickets to them on the page today and tomorrow, and basically before I leave for travel on Thursday. Okay. There was something I was going to mention about that. Oh, here it is. I have also, per your suggestion, I have added some declutter parties to weekdays and earlier on Saturdays. So stay tuned for that. But here, you know who we have in the house? Talk about a lady. Talk about a lady who did some great work, not only during the declutter party, but before, during, and after. Everybody, let's give a big round of applause and best big Destination Decluttered welcome to Carla Jane. Carla Jane. Now, those of you who are at the Sunday party, and Carla was on it too, you saw firsthand. That's the great thing about the declutter parties too. That's one of the many great things about the declutter parties is you get to associate a face with a name. I saw Judy Dukes. I saw Leslie. I'd never met Leslie before. Judy got to see Leslie and Carla. Now, you don't have to put your camera on if you don't want to, but if you can, if you want to. Now, yes, Leslie says your share on Sunday was phenomenal. So I don't want to reveal anything from Carla because it is her journey and her story. So I don't want to steal her thunder or her spotlight, but I will just applaud her because, man, she and I have been working together for almost a year now. We realized that her very first, her consultation, which all of my one-on-one coaching starts with, her consultation was on May 1st of last year. Fast forward to this year, even though we can't fast forward, but just zoom in fast right now. The amount of decluttering she has been able to do in her mother's home, her clean and organized, but completely hoarder mother's home that Carla is transitioning to create into her own lovely home for herself. The amount of stuff that Carla has been able to get rid of, even just in the past month, has been mind blowing. So, yay for Carla. Yay for Carla. Now, she can choose to share this if she wants. She doesn't have to, but I will just say she is doing some great work. So if she does it, and as she said yesterday on the party, if she can do it, you can too. Okay, so really good stuff for Shannon, sure for her. So I wanted to do it. I wanted to give her a shout out. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. And Louise, to just kind of get back to you, chunk it down and don't tell yourself that you're overwhelmed. Notice telling yourself you're overwhelmed stops you. So stop telling yourself you're overwhelmed. Say no. Instead of being overwhelmed, I'm going to chunk it down. Stop and chunk it down. Stop and chunk it down. I bet even just those two little things. Look, I'm making like a little dance routine here. Even those two things, disrupt, stop, interrupt the unhelpful stuff that you're telling yourself and start doing something else simply by chunking it down, writing it down and chunking it down. Seriously, those two things can change your life in a really good way, you know? Yeah. And this is the great thing too, is we're all on our own decluttering journeys together. Yet each one of us is at a different stage. Each one of us is dealing with different stuff. Is it my stuff? Is it my dad's stuff? Is it my mother's stuff? Is it my grandmother's stuff? Is it my kids' stuff? How much stuff do I have? And Judy Dukes says, it was eye opening for me to see and hear about Carla's journey. Way to go, Carla. Yes. Yes. Such good stuff. Such good stuff. Yep. And McDoug's print out April. It's there. You can make your April, everybody, pavers and potholes, pave the way. Notice the paving is repetition. It is stopping doing the unhelpful thing, which is not doing the thing you want to do and doing it. Yes. She says, no, you can do this. And I firmly believe you guys can do it too, because that's my motivation. If I can do this and I grew up in a less than supportive, cluttered environment, and now I am in a supportive, decluttered environment in life, if I can do it, you can too. Okay. Here's my courage. Here's my confidence in you. If you don't have confidence in yourself, trust me, trust the process. And during the process, if you show up with me and the process, we build your confidence. So you start to trust yourself that you can do this. Okay. Good stuff. Yay. So, what are you going to do today to help yourself feel good later today? Maybe you're going to plant a seed today that is not going to bloom for a while yet. You know, maybe that's what you do. That tiny little calling of somebody, emailing back. I'm getting really good at that. I may not have a great garden outside my home, but man, do I know how to plant seeds to make things bloom in my life. You know, and I have some stuff written down. What I have also done though is there's a difference between making a list and scheduling it. Making a list, checking it twice, gonna find out who naughty or nice. Yeah. Now, so notice when you can write stuff down and notice when you say you're not going to. That's your brain. It's part of your brain not wanting you to succeed by saying, I don't have to write it down, I'll just remember it. But then you forget stuff. So seriously, if you're thinking I don't need to write it down anyway. Okay. Now, during the party, Judy Dukes is saying, and I like to reread the comments simply for the people. It's also a habit from TikTok when the comments did not carry over when I uploaded these to YouTube, but also for the people who are walking around and puttering and decluttering. As a motivation too, we are here for another 20 minutes on YouTube. 20 minutes is the chunk of time that I typically carve out during the declutter parties to say, what can you do within the next 20 minutes? You've got 20 minutes now. Could you get up and just do some puttering and decluttering? I will keep you in the loop as to what's going on in the comments. So you don't say, oh, I might miss the comments. I will read them to you so you can get up and move around. Okay. So Judy Duke says, Beth had to stop me from thinking the negative so I could move forward. I could not stop you, but I disrupted it so you could learn to disrupt it. I so appreciate that, or I would have stopped and shoved everything back in the closet. Yeah, aren't you glad you took the tool that I gave you, the little traffic cop hand, the stop sign, and said, stop thinking negative, start doing something else. And you did it. You could have continued to think the negative and shoved everything back in and like signed off from the party. That you had all of those choices ahead of you. You chose to do what was suggested and look where it got you. Feeling better, closet less cluttered, bedroom back looking lovely, car filled with bags to go to the donation place. So yay, Judy Dukes. And all I do is I give you the tools to use it yourself. I can't be in your head telling your backseat drivers to shut up, but I can encourage you to get in your head and tell your backseat drivers to shut up. Okay. Or at least quiet down. All right. So here's Carla. For those of you walking around, Carla had 75 bags and 10 yard bags of cookbooks, 75 bags of clothing. And she's talking about those white kitchen garbage bags, 75 bags of them, and 10 yard bags of cookbooks leaving the house this week. Cookbooks are out today, and 4 boxes of deco mesh leaving today too. You can tell what I shared with you. I promise you, you can do this. Yeah. Now, what I want to offer is, yes, Carla has struggled, and here's the great thing: the way she was talking about it. Yeah, it's crazy. And she would say prior to us, and I'm not saying, oh, look at me, what I did with coaching, but she showed up to get a, she showed up last April and probably found me on TikTok. And all she was doing prior to that was pretty, for the most part, she would walk into the house, get overwhelmed, have a glass of wine, cry, and walk out. Too overwhelming, can't deal, leaving. We had a consultation. She was brave enough. She signed up for coaching. We started, and we've been coaching together since then. Now, has everything gone smoothly? No. Oh my God. I have never had a client who has hurt herself physically so much. She has gotten a black eye. She has tripped and fallen. She has broken a rib. She has gotten sick. She's wiped herself out. She has also gotten some really good stuff done. She has also learned to take care of herself. And did all of this happen in one fell swoop or very smoothly? No, fits and starts, but she kept, she got knocked down, she got back up again. And Carla has been doing, and she had certain ideas at the beginning of decluttering of how she wanted to do it. And she tried that and she experimented with it. And she got a certain amount of stuff out of the house. She invited people over to pull out some of the clothing. And then she tried to do it on her own. And then she realized she wasn't making that much progress. So she got people involved. And then she had weeks where she wasn't doing anything. And then she had weeks that she was. So it is not always going to be a smooth kind of conveyor belt process. She persisted. Yes, she did not give up. She did not get up. She was tenacious. And she just was like, she kept on going back in because she had a fire in her because she knew what she wanted that house to look like. And it was not what it looked like right then. I love it. Leslie says, decluttering is a contact sport. Yeah, if you don't watch it, you can hurt yourself. You can you can exhaust yourself, and you need time to recuperate. That's why I encourage you to take care of your physical self and your mental health so you don't have to be laid out in bed for weeks because you got yourself sick. Okay? So yay Carla yay Carla for herself and as an inspiration. She's inspiring the people who she meets every day. Her daughter, her grandkids, her friends, everybody is seeing the transformation, and she's got a spark in her eye now because she is persisting in moving towards what she wants, and she's never been closer than today, and tomorrow she'll be even closer, and so on and so on. So good stuff. Now, Melissa with 1S says, good morning. So good morning. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope I do too. And I don't just hope it. I'm going to make sure it happens. I'm going to do stuff to increase the likelihood that my day is going to be amazing. I offer that as a suggestion to all y'all. Worked all day yesterday and forced myself to work 4 hours to get some stuff done on my list. Okay. Now, I'm not all about force. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But I will say, I hope that worked for you. I hope you got some stuff done. What I get curious about is, why do I have to force myself? Now, I'm not saying every task is enjoyable, but when you're forcing yourself, there's an equal and opposite. There's a resistance to force. There's like a sciency thing right there, you know? So, oh, and that's fun. And now you're rewarding yourself by saying, I love it, because you say the violent femmes, yeah, they can just all kiss off into the air. Do it all the time. There we go. Lori Brolt. I apologize, Lori. Lori says it took her over a year to do her mom's sport, and yay, going to see the femmes. Love it. I saw, not to be like all back in the day, but time is passing and we don't even realize it. Like, the Violent Femmes was 40 years ago for me. I just realized, because I saw it on TikTok, that Garden State, the movie and the soundtrack, I had the soundtrack. I saw the movie and I liked the soundtrack. That was 20 years ago. Crazy. It's crazy to believe. So this is going to freak us all out, because this is how I do it. I freak myself out. 20 years is the same amount of time between 1957 and 1977. Okay? That's like that's when they went from living in the 50s to Happy Days pretending to be the 50s. Remember? So can you imagine 20 years from now what it's going to be like? No, let's not even do that, but let's look back. 2004. I had some things here I didn't realize, as I picked out some random stuff. It was from 20 years ago. And how many things have changed and how many things have stayed the same. And I have changed. And luckily, I have gotten better at the things I wanted to get better at. And I have given myself grace for the things that I'm not so good at. And I am enjoying my life now more than I ever did 20 years ago, 10 years ago. And I look forward to increasing the enjoyment of my life as I move forward. So, yay. Barbara London says, I have a bunch of clothes for giveaway, but struggle with the thought that I have to wash and fold before I donate. Keeps me from getting the clothes out of my house. Okay, Barbara, I will offer this. Unless you are taking it out of your hamper because it's dirty from being on your body, you do not have to wash those things. I'm sure many of us thrifters, okay, thrifters know. And if you don't thrift and you want to thrift, or you have been thrifting and you don't do this, washing the clothes when you get home is like the number one thing you do, because because even if you wash it, Barbara, you wash it, you put it in a bag, you donate it, you have no idea what happens to those clothes after you let go of them. They could get all dirty again, and your washing and folding and drying would be for naught. So notice you're worried. Notice you have a fear that you are going to be judged, maybe, for giving away dirty clothes. But if they're hanging on your hangers, and even if they're musty, people are going to donate. People who are going to pick them up will wash them before they take them home. Okay? They are going to, after they buy them. Sometimes too, frankly, you may ruin some clothes if you wash them. Sometimes people like to have the tags on them. Sometimes people like to feel that kind of the sizing in clothing that had never been worn, and so they know it hadn't been worn. So, yeah. And Goals of My Own says, Barbara, most places wash when you drop off, I was told. Yeah, I would say this. Now, I have shopped at Salvation Army and Goodwill for like pretty much literally all of my life. Not so much in the past couple years, but for decades. There is such a certain smell in both of those rooms, those donation places, that even if they don't actually wash them, maybe they just kind of fumigate them. There is something they do to make the clothing palatable. So unless they are nasty with pit stains and smelly stuff and food that you've dumped on yourself, don't worry about it, okay? Yeah, it's okay. And notice what we're doing. She had a thought in her head that made her feel, "Ew, I don't know, I can't do that. What if I get in trouble for donating? What if somebody yells at me for donating dirty clothes?" It's not the case. People are going to be grateful for the clothes, especially now where we don't have FEMA in many places, and there are going to be people that have tornadoes and earthquakes and storms. They're going to need clothes to change into. Okay. So, also, Notice how you're affecting your life by keeping that stuff surrounded you. Now, notice the struggle. We talked about tension and force and resistance. I feel like this could be like a science class, but I'm not wicked sciencey. But just think about the fact that now, when she feels better, the struggle has been released. Like where is it right now? Like there's a struggle, tension. She wants to get rid of it, but she's afraid to because the stuff is dirty. But I told her it was okay it's not dirty and she can release it. All of a sudden, oh, okay, that tension is gone. Now, Barbara, what I would love to hear, frankly, and this is just me planting a seed with you. Notice what I'm doing. I would love to hear maybe on the TikTok and YouTube's lives of tomorrow, Tuesday, April 1st, or Wednesday, April 2nd, is you tune in and say, I donated that stuff and I survived. I did something I was afraid of and I lived to tell the tale. No, no lie, I will share with you a comical yet powerful one from my own family that I took a picture of. As I was decluttering some of these and rearranging some of the stuff in these things right here. Okay, Barbara said she will too. So everybody is championing you. Barbara, we are behind. We got your back, hon. Okay, so we look forward to hearing your tale of success because we know you can do it. Yesterday, I found a couple of pieces of cardboard over here, blank cardboard of a certain size, and I was like, I haven't used these in so long. And so we have a story in my family of how my dad used to save the cardboard from his folded shirts when my mother would send them out to the dry cleaner because my mother refused to iron my dad's shirts. She sent them out to the dry cleaner. When they came back, there was a piece of shirt cardboard. Well, I came from a family that had stacks of these shirt cardboards. So these were kind of like a shirt cardboard. So I literally took a picture of my hand with those cardboards right above my recycle bin and I sent it to my mother and my sister. And talk about doing the thing I did the thing I was afraid of and lived to tell the tale. And I said, look at me, I'm being so brave. I am actually recycling some old shirt cardboards. Because in my house, it'd be like, oh, you can't throw that away. That's good. I could write a list on that. We, to this day, when we are decluttering my mother's house, we will still find um, uh, notes and lists and things that my dad did do. He did write them down. It wasn't just making it up. But I also have another way of doing things in my house. I write things down in these notebooks, and that works for me. So, but I was cracking up, but it still was true. It's like, oh my God, but there's still life left in that. But I haven't used it and I don't need it. I live to tell the tale. Recycling goes out tonight. I feel okay of doing that, but there still was a smidge of tension. So do not be surprised. Even the experts here, even the experts, you are going to feel feelings as you go through this process. If you don't want to feel feelings, don't hang around with me because I am a human and I'm a feeler and you're going to do it. Even Carla said yesterday, she said she went through all the feels. The feels are like a rainbow. She was mad at her mom. She was angry at her mother for doing this. She was pissed off at her mother for spending all that money. She was mad that she, couldn't release that stuff. And then she understood why her mother did it and she had sympathy for her. And then she felt sad for her mother because her mother couldn't get rid of the stuff. And then she was angry for the fact that her kids are mad at her mother because, and she was angry and she was sad and she was proud of herself and then she was exhausted. It was all the feels. You're going to feel a variety, a rainbow of feelings as you go through that. You know what that means? It means you're human. Okay? Yeah, it means you're human. And that's okay. Knowing you can feel feelings you're afraid to feel and live to tell the tale. I decluttered and I survived. And not only survived, I thrived because on the other side of your clutter is a big open space of a life. And you can choose to put stuff in that space or you can choose to leave it spacious and you also have time because you don't spend all your time decluttering. You will have time to spend on the things you want to spend. You'll have more time rather because I want to make sure you're doing the things that you want to do not at the same time you're decluttering. On the same day you're decluttering, I want you to make sure you have some fun. Carla did that too. She decluttered, she did all this stuff. Then she and her daughter went to a floral arrangement class and had a great time. Yes, the smidge of tension is strong And so basically what you think of, you know what? Yeah, live to tell, right? The Madonna song. Yeah, I hope I live to tell, and you will. So notice, even a smidge of tension can be eliminated if you release one end of it. So I just ask you, what's it going to be, boy? Yes or no? Anybody? Anybody? Meatloaf, right? What's it going to be? Who's going to win? The side that doesn't want you to change and has you hanging on to stuff that you know that you don't want, or the one that says, I'm going to let go of this stuff, right? Now you can tug and pull, but it's easier to calm down. So then you just let go of it on one side, and then it's so much easier to do the stuff. And the more you practice that and releasing the tension and doing the thing you want, the stronger your muscle gets when that comes up, that you know you can do the thing and not die. Okay. So notice that. I love it. Petty Myers got my meatloaf reference. You know it. What's it going to be, boy? Yes or no? Yeah. There we go. Stacy Babbage ran out of lavender spray for her pillow and bedding. She's going to order some now to sleep well. Yes, that will make you feel better. There was something I was thinking. I got to find I bought a good chapstick. I also decluttered, so I'm looking for my things where I used to have them. I've decided to put my actually, this is fun. This is not one of them. Doesn't this look like a Bonnie Bell lip smacker? Do you remember those ones that used to like hang around your neck? A friend of mine gave me this. It's bubblegum flavored. Isn't that funny? I'm putting it in right here because it fits nicely and it's better than hanging out on the surface there. But I'm practicing putting things in different places because it looks better for me. And then I have to look for it where it is. Yay. So we got about 7 minutes here, people. Now, after 7 minutes, you have a choice. And please do not hang around with me just to hang out. If you're hanging out with me, I hope you are also getting some good stuff done. Okay. I am going to hop over from here to TikTok. And I did a walk this morning. See, these are the things I want to do. I did a walk. I drank some water. I took some vitamins. I took some Metamucil. Again, I'm 80 years old. TikTok Live, I'm going to take a shower. I've got some coaching. I've got some consultations. I'm going to schedule some parties. I've got some good stuff on the roadmap of my day. Some of it is scheduled at certain times. Like that's why I keep an eye on the clock. Other ones, I just say, I will get it done before I go to bed. And I feel good about doing that. So I just offer that to you. If you've got some stuff you'd like to do today, tomorrow, in your life, get it all out of your head. Empty your head like the junk drawer that it is. But when you do it, start to sort it before you even get overwhelmed. Is this like a long-term goal? Is this a today? Is it this week, this month, this lifetime? And put it in different columns. Put it in different categories. It's like sorting things into baskets, right? There we go. Lady Bandit 78 says, Mom and I went through her laundry room and her closet. We got rid of 5 bags and we feel so good. Yay. That's cool. That is awesome, my friend. Tell your mom I said, hey, I love it. And tell your cat I said, psst, psst, psst. Isn't that what people say? So, okay, we get 2 minutes. Couple of things. There will be multiple declutter parties in April. There will be more TikTok lives. Oh, excuse me, YouTube lives. TikTok, I don't know what's going to happen after the 5th. I really don't. We're going to see. And the declutter parties, per other people's suggestions, this is something that would not have occurred to me. And I say this because the people who know what they want and ask for it get it more than the people who don't know what they want, or the people who know what they want but they're afraid to ask. If you know what you want, state your intention. I had people reach out to me, and I'm encouraging you to do this too, because I can still flex around with this schedule. It is not written in stone, right? If there is a certain day of the week or time of day that you would show up for a declutter party, email me and let me know. Beth@destinationdecluttered.com, and let me know. I have some now on the calendar that would not have been there if people had not reached out and said, this would be a day and time that's helpful for me. Okay. There's still time for you to do that. Now, I will say, kind of looking further ahead, it's 10 o'clock. I'll have to continue this thought on TikTok, but that will get us at least to April, right? So here I go. I'm going to make sure I'm focused And I will see some of you maybe on TikTok, but if not, have a good day, get some good stuff done, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Bye.